The big mistake first-time buyers make is quitting their job to buy business only to end up with a job that's even tougher. But when I bought a 1.6 million turnover business in an industry I knew nothing about, it paid me over £100,000 a year and I didn't have to work in it. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 metrics to buy the right business that can run without you. To do that, you can use a simple filter I call the Freedom Triangle. And even if one corner is missing from a business, don't buy it. I reveal the corners one by one, starting with corner number 1, team. Because here's the main trap to avoid. Most small business owners are the business. The plumber does the plumbing. The electrician does the electrics. And that's what keeps them trapped. And when they stop working, the money stops too, which is usually worse than a 9-to-5 job, because now you're responsible for everything. When I started my accounting practice, I didn't see this coming. I worked later nights than I ever did when I was employed. I worked weekends and I was under constant pressure because the business depended on me. And it cost me. It contributed to my divorce. And it meant going from seeing my daughter every day to every other weekend. That's a price I wouldn't wish on anyone. But in contrast, I still remember walking in to the 1.6 million fitted furniture business I bought, which already had 27 staff. The showroom staff were ready and waiting for customers. The designers were out on appointments. The factory team were cutting, assembling and finishing the furniture. And the fitters had already left in vans loaded with furniture ready to install in people's homes. Also, the accounts team were in the office doing the invoicing and bookkeeping, and there was a general manager who was there to run the day-to-day and report to me. So here's the rule. Don't buy a business where you become the business. Or in other words, if you stop, the business stops making money. But it runs deeper than that, because when the business depends on the owner for everything, it often turns into long hours, weekends, and a fast route to burnout. So instead, buy a business where a team runs the day-to-day, and ideally with a general manager in place too. So how do you check if the business passes the team corner test? Well, you begin with the owner's role in the business and ask, what do you do in a typical week? If they're doing sales and quoting, running the day-to-day, invoicing and firefighting, the business depends on them to function. And if the business is currently owner dependent, you're buying a job. Because once you buy it, guess what? It will depend upon you too. But if the owner's role is mainly oversight, checking numbers, supporting the general manager, and making a few key decisions, then the business isn't owner dependent, and the team corner is in place. And if the business is not owner dependent, you're buying an asset because it won't depend on you either. But don't just take their word for it. Ask for a simple who does what list and make sure the key roles are covered, including sales, marketing, customer service, admin, operations or production, and delivery. It's not necessarily about how many staff the business has, it's whether the business can run without the owner doing the day-to-day work. Then there's the holiday test. Ask, what if the owner disappears for, say, 4 weeks? Who's in charge? And does the business still run without them? And one more thing people often miss. Do customers buy from the business and its brand or from the owner? If customer relationships and trust sits with the owner, that's a huge risk because when they leave, customers can leave too. But if customers buy from a recognized brand with clear repeat orders and loyalty, that's a much safer business to buy. And that's the first corner of the Freedom Triangle, team. But a team on its own isn't enough to give you freedom. because a business can look profitable on paper and still be short of cash. That's why the second corner of the Freedom Triangle is cash flow. Let me give you a real example from a deal I looked at. It was a kitchen extractor cleaning business, which was for sale for £450,000. On paper, it showed around £150,000 a year in profits. But when I got into the due diligence, I discovered the business had serious cash flow problems. The giveaway was in the balance sheet. The liabilities for sales tax, or in the UK, VAT, and payroll taxes, or PAYE in the UK, were far higher than they should have been, which usually means they're behind on payments. And when I checked the bank statements, this confirmed they simply didn't have cash to pay those bills when they were due. So I walked away from the deal because profit doesn't pay the bills. Cash in the bank does. But a business doesn't just need cash flow, it needs positive cash flow, which simply means it can pay wages, suppliers, taxes and loan payments on time and still have a cash buffer. So how do you check if a business is cash flow positive? Well, you do this in 2 steps. Step 1, you can check the year-on-year balance sheet liabilities. And if the supplier balances, taxes owed and loans are building up, whilst the bank balance stays low or is trending down, that's often a sign of a cash flow problem. Step 2, sanity check the bank statements. If they're paying suppliers and taxes on time and cash is consistently coming in faster than it's going out, that's the kind of business you can buy with confidence. And if that's true, it's a strong sign the business is cash flow positive. And it ticks the cash flow corner of the Freedom Triangle. But if the business is constantly juggling payments, stretching suppliers, paying taxes late, with hardly any money in the bank, that's a warning sign. And in that case, you're not buying freedom, you're buying risk. And that's the second corner of the Freedom Triangle, cash flow. Which leads us to the third corner of the Freedom Triangle, which is proven. The question is, has the business been proven at scale and over time? For me, proven means 1 million plus in annual sales and 15 plus years trading history. 1 million plus in sales tells you there's real demand and a market that's already been proven at scale. And 15 plus years matters because most businesses don't last that long. In fact, the UK Enterprise Research Centre tracked 239,000 UK companies and found that 9 out of 10 don't make it to their 15th anniversary. So, although buying a business that has 1 million plus in sales and a 15 plus year trading history doesn't eliminate risk altogether, it does reduce it massively. In my case, the fitted furniture business I bought was doing 1.6 million a year in sales and had been trading for 28 years. And that's what I mean by proven, because in my case, the odds were stacked in my favour. The business had already been through economic cycles, including 2 recessions, and it not only survived, it continued to thrive. So how do you check if a business is proven? It's actually very easy and quick to do. Step 1, verify the scale. Ask for the last 3 years of accounts and check the turnover line in the profit and loss. If it's been consistently doing 1 million plus in sales, that box is ticked. Step 2, verify the trading history. In the UK, the quickest check for a limited company is at Companies House. Look up the business and check the date the company was formed. That tells you how long the company has existed. But a quick warning, the formation date isn't always the same as when trading actually began. Sometimes the company is formed and starts trading at a later date, but it's a good starting point. You can sanity check this date against the company's own claims. as most long-standing businesses will say something like established in 1900 and something or 2000 and something. And that's the third corner of the Freedom Triangle, proven. So, when a business has all three corners of the Freedom Triangle, team, cash flow, and a proven track record, that's when you're buying a business that's an asset, not a job. Because it can run without you, pay you, and it's already been operating at scale for years. So the next question is, what if you find a £1 million business that passes the Freedom Triangle test? How do you actually fund the purchase, especially if you have limited funds yourself? Watch this video next, where I'll walk you through 4 ways to fund a £1 million business with a real example, which includes seller financing.